What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 79 of To the Show We Go baseball podcast. It's myself, Andrew Parker, and I got Ed Hand with me,
What's
like
up?
always. Um, Today's episode, we have the 2024 Red Sox draft class. We had Calvin Bickerstaff, actually, that was a roommate of our guest today. But we have 14th round pick Alex Bouchard. Alex, I did this with Calvin, and I kind of thought it was a little interesting too. Um, I want to just hand the mic over to you at the very beginning here.
Yeah.
Can you give me just like a 15 to like 20-second elevator pitch on who you are? Just introduce yourself.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? I'm Alex Bouchard. I'm a 20-year-old right-handed pitcher. Just got drafted by the Sox from Lehigh University, Bethlehem, PA. Spent 2 years there. It was the best 2 years of my life. And yeah, I'm from the Philly area. Just started pitching in college and stuff, and it's kind of taken off from there. So, yeah, that's kind of who I am as a baseball player, and excited to get going with the Red Sox.
So before you got to Lehigh, you were at Dickerson, right?
Yeah, Dickinson College, yeah.
That's a D3 school. So what was the story between how you ended up there and how you transferred? Did you go to Dickerson specifically to play baseball, or because that's a very good school from what I know about it. So I'm just curious how your path took you through there.
Yeah. So in high school, was pretty undersized, just not really physically developed until kind of my later years, like junior, senior year. And at that point, COVID hit. It was kind of tough to be getting recruited unless you were, one of the big guys before. And I really just wanted to play the game that I loved for 4 more years. And was just trying to, get the best like academic value out of it. So decided my only offer was Dickinson College. Went there. I should add in, I was an infielder for my entire life since I was 5. So went there to go play shortstop. And then, so high school graduation ends. I'm probably going into the summer, about 6 foot, 155 pounds. So pretty small by like today's standards, I guess. And knew I needed to kind of get super physically developed and, take an extra step in that regard, because I didn't want to, go into college and have the talent to compete with everyone, but just be kind of overmatched from the physical side. So I just began pounding the weights, like just harder than I ever had before, eating, doing nutrition, doing everything that I could to just get things taken care of on that side. And that also coincided with, me starting to pitch a little bit. In high school, I probably only threw like 3 or 4 innings. Like I said, played shortstop and second base, and then was playing summer ball for my travel team. I'm young, so we were still able to do like a tournament circuit and stuff like that before college. So my coach, I played with him since I was like 11 or 12. He knew I could always pitch and stuff if I needed to. So we're just throwing me out there when other guys needed to see innings in the field. And it just kind of started going up from there. So I'd say, like I said, gave you the build. Probably left throwing about 82 miles an hour in high school, and by the end of the summer, was up to like 87, which looking back on it was kind of cool. And now it's a little far from where I'm at now, but it was a cool experience. And texted my coach at Dickinson, and he was like, yeah, you can definitely we'll give you a shot to 2A in the fall. So that was actually, looking back on it, was one of the most important texts I've ever kind of received. And then, yeah, so gained about 35 pounds that summer. Got to the fall at Dickinson and was close to 90 miles an hour at that point. And then it was kind of clear where my career was headed in a sense. And went into the winter just prepping to be a 2A, but focusing a lot on arm care, just how to make myself the best pitcher I could, because I knew that was where I was going to see the majority of time as a freshman. So I kind of became my own coach in a sense, just looked at a ton of videos online, researched a bunch about analytics, mechanics, all that nature, and came out in the spring and was one of our main bullpen guys. Was up to about 92 at that point, I think. and then had a good freshman year. After that season ended, we decided to be a PO for the first time, and it was also the first time I started to kind of reevaluate, my future and what was best for me and my family and for my baseball and academic career. So I went to go play summer ball. I gotten up to about 94 at that point, and kind of made the decision. Had two really good pitches at that point, and started, looking for other options. Kind of kept the same mentality. Wanted to find a school that would develop me into becoming, professional baseball player. Good team culture, close school, very very high on academics as well, and I mean Lehigh checks all those boxes. So was where I wanted to go from the start, and then ended up going there over the other schools that I had interest from, and I mean it was the best decision I ever made. Then just kind of kept progressing from there, and then obviously the season got cut short a little bit, but was feeling great going in, and yeah, that's kind of how my college career went, and now member of the Red Sox organization, and couldn't be happier to get healthy and get to work. So yeah.
It says that you're listed at 6'3" now, so you must have you were saying 6 feet, a little undersized before. So when did you grow?
Yeah, just throughout college. Was probably grew an inch or two at Dickinson, and then 2 falls ago at Lehigh when I was a sophomore. I measured myself at 6'3", so just kind of, being a late bloomer a little bit and growing.
And what did you study while you were there? Because you mentioned the academics.
Oh yeah, at Dickinson or Lehigh?
Yep, both.
So Dickinson, I went in planning to do data analysis, and then transferred that over to Lehigh and took the statistics route. So obviously still have a year left to finish my degree at Lehigh, but I was studying statistics. So
do you find that helps you as far as like the analytics, as far as like your pitching and what you throw and your mechanics and all that?
Oh yeah, 100%. So it's something I've always been fascinated about. I've always been a numbers guy. Watched Moneyball when I was younger and kind of fell in love with, that whole side of baseball. And I like it because it just gives me like actual finite values to see success. And it's like, if I'm chasing certain numbers, whether it be a pitch or like a statistic or something like that, it's something that is proven to give you success and that you can work towards. And I kind of like that approach to training. So I'd say 100% big reason for my success and development has been via analytics and all that.
Yeah, and Parker, we're joking a little bit that your name Bouchard sounds like a little bit like a hockey player name. Did you play any other sports growing up, or were you just always like a baseball kid?
I was always baseball since I was 5 years old. I played like 2 years of basketball in high school and experimented with like flag football and soccer, but it was always baseball.
Who was your favorite team and player growing up?
Yeah, so I'm from the Philly area, so I grew up a Phillies fan. My granddad is actually a diehard Red Sox fan, so that's really cool. It was really cool for him. He was probably the most excited person after the draft. And so, we grew up liking the Sox too. And my favorite player right now, I'd probably say Zach Wheeler. He's kind of lights out and everything that you'd want in an ace. And growing up, it was Mike Trout, Jimmy Rollins, Andrew Jones, guys like that who just electric players and were fun to watch.
I do want to transition now to asking you about obviously your transition to pro ball after getting drafted. But I did want to ask first. So I said this whenever we were interviewing Calvin. I just looked at your age, and you're not even old enough to legally drink. In 10 days, you will be. But
that's great. What's your first beer going to be?
I don't know, man. Just whatever's calling, I guess.
Whatever Calvin gives you.
Yeah, probably.
So your birthday's in 10 days. Obviously, happy early birthday. But you will be fresh 21 years old. And did you ever think when you were a freshman at Dickinson that you would be in this position, a member of the Boston Red Sox, before you even turned 21?
I mean, it was definitely something they asked me a question about this like a few days ago. And it was, well, the short answer is definitely no, but it's something I've always wanted to be a professional baseball player since I was like 5. And just, it's been a lifelong dream of mine. And then, you get to high school and stuff starts to get a little real. And you realize like, that's probably not in the cards or whatever. And then, like you said, at Dickinson, like was just trying to be the best player I could be, like didn't have any necessary, like, didn't realize it would be possible, I guess is the way to put it. And then I first realized that, I could do it, probably, after that freshman year playing summer ball, with a bunch of like really talented dudes. And then when I transferred to Lehigh after our scout day that fall, I just remember, it sinking in like, yeah, I can really do this, and I'm going to put everything forward, to make that goal happen. And it's cool that the dream was still alive after all these years. So it's pretty surreal to kind of just, wake up as a member of the Red Sox organization. So.
Now, you had Tommy John surgery back in April. Did it surprise you at all that you went in this year's draft, or did you think you were going to have to go in as a senior and kind of rebuild your stock?
Yeah. So knew before the junior year started, like, it's a good possibility, and just had to, just kind of keep giving them what they wanted to see, and then everything would work out. And then after I got TJ, for a few weeks, me and my coach and my advisor, we were, we didn't know for certain what would happen, didn't know if they had enough to go off of, or if they had been tracking me for long enough. But then after a few weeks, it kind of, everything went back to normal, in a sense of like what we were hearing. And we knew I might not go as high, but, all we wanted was the opportunity. And then obviously the teams that were still interested, kept talking to me and everything, and it ended up working out. So it was probably only a few weeks that we didn't really know what the scenario would be, but after that we're still hearing good things. So happy it worked out.
That is something that I was curious about too, is obviously like with us being around the guys in Worcester and Portland quite a bit this year, it is interesting to hear about how the signing scouts for these guys are still very close to a lot of the guys, and they watch them progress through the system. Your signing scout was Wallace. And so yeah. How did that like relationship bloom? And then obviously, like you said, like, when you go through an injury like that, you just don't know if they've seen enough of you or anything. Like, how close was Wallace with you throughout, like, you going through the injury and then post-injury and then pre-draft?
Yeah. So Wallace was a huge help. We developed a really great relationship over the course of the process, which was one of the reasons I felt great about going to the Sox, just because of, that relationship we built. He was texting me. We were having phone calls. And another scout that was pretty impactful too was Mason McRae, who actually just left the Sox. He got the Texas job for analytics, but he was a big numbers guy on the pitching side, and he was equally as responsible. Just helped me, or was texting me, and we kind of developed a relationship there too. So Wallace and Mason were very influential, and left a good impact, and they're making sure I'm taken care of down here too. So it's like you said, it's good to see that everyone's signing scout is still pretty involved in their career, and I feel like mine will be no different for sure.
Ed, you are typing insanely loud in my ears right now.
I'm sorry. Just
sorry
taking notes on this.
It's all good. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, I'll stop doing that.
It's all good. All right, so draft happens. Obviously with being injured and not having thrown a pitch in quite a few months, and then obviously not being able to make your debut, were you expecting to be, okay, just, I guess answer this, like, were you expecting to be drafted as high as you were or as low as you were? Like, was any of it a surprise to you, or were you kind of going into it like, okay, I'm pretty confident that, the Red Sox are very interested in me and they're going to take me around this point, or were you going in almost blind?
I was pretty confident. I knew that it was going to work out at some point. It was more just stressful because we didn't exactly know when. Um, but in the back of my mind, I was pretty confident, and my advisor had outlined that with me and my family and my head coach at Lehigh. So everyone was we were just it was just a waiting game in a sense of like when it would happen, but we knew it was going to. And I mean, I was probably more stressed for seeing where my friend was going to land because I was just waiting for it. I obviously was just waiting for his name to be called too. So just seeing where he would go to.
All right. So one of my last questions regarding the draft here. So obviously, post draft happens. You sign your contract with the Red Sox. You're down in Fort Myers now. You are, I think, you and Gartrell, maybe.
Oh yeah, Joey, yeah.
Yeah, Joey are the only two that are part of the. I guess it's like a no throw squad type thing.
Yeah.
But so you obviously have another guy in your draft class that's in the same situation as you. But what has your experience been since getting down to the fort? Like, what have you been up to? Obviously, you're in the middle of a rehab, so I'm sure yours is a little different than a guy like Calvin or somebody else. But what has your day to day been like, and what have you been up to since getting to the fort?
Yeah. So every day, it's honestly very similar to what I was doing at home, but now it's just it's like at the professional level, so it's pretty cool. So we'll get to the field at like 7, eat some breakfast. Sometimes there's meetings in the morning, and then around like 8 to 9, everyone will start going about their day with whatever they have to do. So I'll go get treatment with the trainers down there. Usually end up working out for another hour and a half, however that may be. And then after that workout's done, I'll start doing whatever the PT is on the agenda for the day. That'll be, shoulder stuff, arm stuff, whatever is on the docket. And then, having Joey's nice too, because we got surgery pretty close to each other. So it's good to have, someone else go through that. And then for the first couple of days that we were there too, we were kind of just in the group with all the regular, like healthy guys, I guess. So it was good to just kind of walk through, see the drills that we eventually would be doing on the mound, kind of get a lay of the land in that pitching sense. So everything's been super positive down here. It's a great experience.
You got any more pitching questions right now, Parker? Because I got some questions about finding a little bit more about you, the person. Okay. So this is going to be kind of like a lightning round. You don't have to go into too much detail. If you want to, then by all means. I'm not going to police the time. I'm not going to be looking at my watch because I don't have a watch. But I've got just a few questions. So, are your parents baseball people?
They are. My mom and dad. I mean, since I was playing travel ball, my mom's been someone who was organizing tournaments for our team. Running like district, state tournaments. So she spent like the majority of my life at the field. My dad's the same way. He's always been someone who's feeding me extra balls. He loves sending me just like videos about pitching, about old time dude. Huge Greg Maddux guy. Loves sending me Greg Maddux videos. And he loves going to spring training games. I think eventually whenever he retires, he just wants to do like groundskeeping at some field, which is like his dream job, honestly. So they love baseball. It's always on in our house. And my brother, he played baseball in high school. He's actually going to Dickinson for soccer. So cool little connection there, but he also loves baseball too. He just loves soccer more. So it's a baseball family for sure.
What's your dad do for work now?
My dad, he does more of the consulting route. He used to do like accounting and stuff like that. And so consulting is in the financial sector. So
gotcha. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I'd say 21 or 22 Jump Street for sure. I love that. I love those movies. I can watch those movies every day. They're awesome.
Favorite TV show?
I'd say Stranger Things. Oh, I also want to go back on the movie thing. I'd say Goodfellas also.
Goodfellas. That's a good pick too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'd say it's tied between those and the Jump Streets.
Bringing in the older audience with that one.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Just steak, burgers, any like sort of red meat.
Do you like to grill?
I do. Me and my buddies at school, we always used to, take the grill, do burgers, dogs. So shout out to them. So yeah.
What do your friends think of this? Of you getting drafted?
Oh, they're ecstatic. They're just in my friend group, my main friend group at Lehigh. It was my best friend got drafted to the Rangers this year, and then my two other friends are really good players there, and they love it, and they're just as supportive as anyone else. So it's cool to have them, and really thankful for them.
If you could play any other sport besides baseball at a professional level, what would it be?
Golf.
Oh, good man.
Likes that one.
Good
I
man.
don't think. Don't get me wrong. I could not compete out there, but if you were giving me and said you had the talent to go play, I'd say yeah.
Do you have any hobbies outside of baseball?
Fishing, golf. I just started getting into hunting, so that's been fun. Like playing college football on the PlayStation. And then honestly, just anything that kind of gets me outside. So that's my three main hobbies are all just kind of outdoors. So I just kind of like being out there.
Gotcha. So this is my last question from this segment, and that's
okay.
What is a question that you would like someone to ask you, but no one's ever asked you it?
Oh man. Jeez. This is tough because it's like no one's ever asked me, but I don't know. Oh jeez. Why do you always wear hats?
Why do you always wear hats?
See, I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, it's because you have long hair. But it's just because I like wearing hats. I think it's just a part of it's just a part of someone's outfit. It's a good way to just kind of. I have always been a hat guy, even when I was like 8 years old. Would wear all my travel hats and stuff. So I'd say, yeah, I just like wearing hats. I think it's part of the outfit.
So even pre-lettuce, you're saying. So even before you had all this back here, you were a hat guy.
Yeah. So I've always had a ball cap on for sure.
That's fair. I have a couple follow-ups to some of your answers there. One is Lehigh in college football in the new game?
No, they're not because we're FCS, so it's only the FBS schools. Yeah.
So you're like the FCS Northeast or something, whatever they have.
We'd be FCS Northeast that your dynasty team probably loses to by like 50.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
They really, I mean, they're like a 68 overall or something on there, and they're like kicking my freaking butt on there. And then two, have you at least played Calvin when he's Kent State and you've had to pick somebody else and beat him yet?
We have not yet because he plays different games, so we got to get a college football game going for sure. But yeah.
All right, fair. I had a couple follow-up random ones I want to get out of the way now before I ask you a couple baseball ones. But do you have any baseball superstitions?
Superstitions. Yeah, I mean, I guess like just the way I put on like I always put on my right shoe before my left, and like I'll never touch the lines. It's like pretty basic stuff, but nothing like really that crazy. I mean, that's kind of both just like basic stuff. I feel like I'm not like I don't get way too deep into it. I mean, if I'm like in a good stretch where I'm pitching well, like I'll make sure I'm eating the same thing like before every game. I always had Dunkin' breakfast sandwiches before I'd pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably the basic stuff, but nothing too crazy.
All right, so I'm not sure if you're familiar yet or gotten acquainted to a website that me and Ed grow to love. It's soxprospects.com. But they have a profile up for you already, obviously, since you signed.
Great.
And it says on your scouting report on here that you reportedly touched 98 with your fastball before your injury. Is that, I guess, like, walk me through that. When was that? Like, how recent before the injury? And are you looking forward to, I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's a myth at this point or if it's actually like a fact that you throw harder after Tommy John. Like, I don't really know. But are you looking forward to possibly throwing harder, even harder after you get off the injured list?
Yeah. So I actually hit 98 the same game I tore my UCL.
Oh,
So it's recent. Got the TrackMan back from that, so that was pretty cool. But it was also not cool because I was, out. So yeah, I mean that game I was feeling great. Was sitting like 4-6 for most of the game, and then the arm blew out. But I'm definitely looking forward to, everyone says like you throw harder after Tommy John, and it's not necessarily the surgery. It's more just like the work you're putting in to get stronger and get more mobile and take care of your body. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. And me and the training staff here were already off on a great foot, and they like where I was at coming in. So just, day by day, just keep chipping away and, hit 100 when we're healthy.
Are you? I'm not sure yet, obviously, because it's been you've only been down there for a brief amount of time. But two-part question here. One, have you gotten a chance yet to kind of work with the other injured guys that like the MLB and even like guys throughout the system there? Because I definitely sent a text to our good pal Taylor Broadway and said, hey, this guy's coming in, he's injured, you take him under your wing type thing. And then two, like, is there any of the pitchers, because you obviously have a few guys down there that have some MLB experience with Fulmer and Chris Murphy, and Wyatt Mills. Wyatt Mills, I think, has some MLB experience. If not, he's very close. Have you gotten a chance yet to kind of like pick any of their brains or hang out with any of them at all, like even just in a workout setting?
Yeah, so Fulmer and Murphy, they got to speak to us when all the draft class was kind of like on-ramping and stuff like that. And it was just kind of a Q&A session. So I was just asking them some stuff about just like what they're thinking on the mound, or like how they recover from a bad outing or a bad pitch or inning or something like that. And that was very insightful. They're kind of around every day, obviously. So just kind of, we're doing mostly the same lifts and stuff. So just kind of picking their brain with that kind of stuff. And then Noah Song, who's fellow Patriot League arm, been talking to him a lot, just because we come from, similar experiences playing in the same conference, but just he got surgery around the same time I did too. So kind of just, doing the rehab together and stuff. So
I don't know if you know this, but at least on Red Sox Twitter, Noah Song is a little bit of a meme just because of when he was serving in the Air Force. People kept asking when he was coming back, when he was coming back, when he was coming back. And I do the social media for Sox prospects, and this was literally for 4 years a question. And then just before he came back, he got taken in the Rule 5 draft by the Phillies.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that happened. Because Dave Dombrowski was the guy who drafted Song initially. And so he was still serving when this happened, and we didn't know if he was getting a deferment or not. And like a week later, he got the deferment and he came back. So the Philly, and this guy hadn't pitched in 4 years, hadn't pitched above short. It was still short season ball, so he hadn't pitched above short season ball. But they were fast tracking him to the majors to try to keep him. It was this whole crazy thing, and he ended up getting returned to the Red Sox, obviously. But he's kind of been elusive as far as just interviews and that sort of thing. What's he like in person? Like, how's he been to you?
Yeah, he's great. He's been, helping me out with different like stuff and just kind of talk about, college ball or how his pro experience has been and stuff. He's just super chill dude, great guy.
I have a couple questions left, Ed. I don't know how much you have, but my next one's going to be my most controversial question that I ask you, I think, especially if you have any. No, Ed, it's not actually the question you think.
It's not the controversial question you think it is.
No, not for me, but for if anybody from Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania area is listening to this. So I went to Philly for the first time last year on a trip. Fantastic. Love the city. I stayed right downtown. Amazing. Like, we did all the tourist stuff, all that. And so me and my fiance were kind of like, okay, like, obviously when we're here, we got to try a Philly cheesesteak. We just have to, right? Like, so she's like looking on TikTok, looking, Google and everything. Like, what's the best place? We got probably 1,000 different answers on like, no, this place has the best one there. No, that place does. No, you got to go over here. So where is the best place to get a cheesesteak in Philly?
All right, this has been my answer my whole life. Steve's Prince of Steaks, best cheesesteak there is, hands down.
Can
Steve's
you
Prince of
tell
Steaks.
me, like, give me a reason why that you think your place is better than the 1,000 other places that I've gotten.
They got like slabs rather than like chopped meat.
Ooh,
It's like
okay.
slabs of the steak, really good. I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't describe like the taste, or it's just better than the other spots. I don't know.
I don't hate it, and it's one
Yeah.
of those things where it's like we were down there trying to find, like, we weren't gonna go to. I forgot there was one place that was like where all the tourists go to. That's like kind of down, I think, by the market that's down there that we went to. I don't know. A lot of tourists they were saying that's a tourist spot, so we were trying to find
Okay.
the undercover spots. But I wish
Yeah.
we would have known that before then.
Mm.
I know it's controversial though, but Ed, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. What do you have? I have one question left. Do you have anything? You got anything
Is
left?
it the one that's actually controversial?
No.
You're not gonna, because I'm gonna ask him that if you don't.
You have to, because he's a Pennsylvania guy. He's not gonna have the answer I'm looking.
What's your
for.
favorite fried chicken spot?
Fried chicken spot.
Yeah, it's very specific. A fast food fried chicken spot. You're in Florida right now, which is almost the land of fried chicken. So
Yeah.
Actually,
You
good
mean
point.
like? I mean, I like Zaxby's.
What the hell, dude?
Do you mean like? Is that what you're like mean? Like a Chick-fil-A Zaxby's? Like Zaxby's?
yeah,
Right.
exactly like
Okay.
that. Exactly. You
Okay.
just made. So we've done 70. This is our 79th episode. Parker, I'm convinced that he started doing this podcast just to try to get a Zaxby's sponsorship. He loves Zaxby's. No one
I
ever
absolutely
picks
love
Zaxby's.
It's
No one
awesome.
ever
it's my
picks
favorite
Zaxby's.
restaurant. I'd say it's probably my favorite restaurant aside from Waffle House.
What the hell?
Dude, Waffle. Now that's my favorite is Waffle House.
Okay.
Do they have
No,
Waffle
no.
House in Pennsylvania, or for some reason I thought Pennsylvania was too far north for it? Like we're
No,
up
they
in
do.
Boston. They don't
one-
have that
They
here.
had like two right by Lehigh, so that was great.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you a Zaxby's guy?
I love Zaxby's. I was born in Georgia,
Yeah. Okay.
and then lived there for about 5 years. But then we have a ton of family down there, and we go down there all the time. So it's kind of just like both my parents went to Clemson too, so we spent a lot of time like south of the Mason-Dixon line.
dude,
So
that is
love me some Zaxby's.
incredible. I asked that question to literally every so
You've given up.
what we do on this podcast, right? What Ed said,
Okay.
we've done 79 episodes. Every single episode is with an interview with the player. And I asked that question every time, and I was like, I'm not getting it anymore. Everybody's
You're
just
batting
Chick-fil-A.
like what? You're batting like 079 or something. I think it's been like Blaze Jordan and Alex Benellis are the only people prior to
That's
this that said
hilarious.
Zaxby's.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
like Blaze Jordan and Benellis both in Portland said it, but all right, man. You're up a tier for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you just
That's
became
great.
Parker's favorite prospect.
I love Zaxby's. It's a great spot.
Yeah, it's incredible. All
Can we
right,
clip
Ed,
that 3320? Can we clip that?
I might. All right, you got anything final here? Because I got one left.
You finish it up, man.
All right, so let's say you're going to get pretty familiar with the complex, obviously, for the rest of the year, rehabbing. But let's shoot forward to February of 2025. Spring training rolls around, and all the guys are coming down to the complex, every single level, all the MLB guys. So guys that are currently in the Red Sox organization, is there any pitchers or any just guys in general that you're looking forward to either seeing, being around, picking brains that you're like, okay, that would be cool to have that guy around?
I definitely want to see Tanner Houck's like sweeper in person. I think that'd be kind of cool. So, I mean, him. Honestly, any other starting pitchers, Bello, Kenley Jansen, maybe his cutter. I think that'd be cool. Just kind of taking everything in and watching all the big leaguers' sides and just seeing how they attack guys and what their game plans are. When they approach a bullpen or something like that. So, I'd say definitely those guys. But I mean, it'll just be an awesome experience to finally, be in the shoes that I've kind of watched other people go through. So,
Well, Alex, we definitely appreciate you hopping on. Sorry
Yeah,
we did
thank
get
you.
the roommate before you, but we definitely appreciate all the time, and we look forward to seeing you obviously next year once you're back and healthy. But thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Great experience. So thanks very much.